In a bustling African city filled with the sound of car horns, busy traders, and bright lights, there lived a man called Chief Obinna, known far and wide for his wealth and influence. Chief Obinna owned lands, companies, and houses in the most beautiful part of the city. He was respected, admired, and sometimes even feared. But his greatest treasure was his only son, Toby. From the moment Toby was born, Chief Obinna made sure he lacked nothing. Fine clothes from abroad and the best schools in the city, and servants to attend to his every need. Toby's future, it seemed, was brighter than gold. But there was one thing Chief Obinna failed to teach his son: humility. As Toby grew older, his heart grew proud. He looked down on the poor, spoke harshly to his father's workers, and even mocked anyone who didn't live like him. His father tried to warn him. "My son," Chief Obinna would say, "never let pride live in your heart. Money can open doors, yes, but humility keep them open." But Toby never listened. One afternoon, dressed in fine Italian clothes, he strolled through the city market. Traders paused to greet him. Children whispered his name, and he smiled proudly, soaking in the attention. Then he saw an old man sitting under a shade, mending shoes. The man's clothes were old, his hands rough, yet his eyes carried peace and wisdom. The old man smiled and said, "Good afternoon, my son. How is your day?" Toby looked at him with disgust and replied, "Old man, you're sitting in the sun fixing shoes. Do you even know who I am?" "My father owns half of this city." The shoemaker only smiled gently. "That's good, my son," he said softly. "But tell me, what do you own?" Toby scoffed, turned away, and walked off, leaving the old man smiling quietly to himself. Months passed, and Chief Obinna fell gravely ill. His business partners betrayed him, selling his shares behind his back. Within a few short months, the empire he built for decades crumbled. Toby couldn't believe it. The cars were sold, the mansion was taken, servants left, friends who once ate at their table stopped picking up his calls. One evening, as Chief Obinna lay weak in his bed, he held his son's hand and whispered, "My son, life is like the wind. Today it blows your way, tomorrow it turns. When it does, only character will keep you standing." Those were his last words before he passed away. Toby cried for days. But when the tears dried, reality hit him. He was left with nothing, no money, no home, and no friends. He searched for work, but was turned away everywhere. Some laughed, saying, "Isn't this the rich man's son? Where is your father's money now?" Hunger became his daily companion. Sometimes he slept under a tree, sometimes beside a market stall. One hot afternoon, weak and tired, he sat by the roadside, the same market road he once walked with pride. As he lowered his head in shame, he heard a familiar voice. It was the old shoemaker. He stopped and looked at Toby kindly. "My son," the old man said, "you look hungry. Have this bread." Toby hesitated but took it. Tears filled his eyes as he whispered, "I used to have everything. Now I have nothing." The old man sat beside him and said quietly, "No, my son, you still have life. And as long as you have life, you can rebuild. Remember what I told you that day I asked what you own. You may not have gold now, but you can own something greater. Respect, kindness, humility, those are treasures that will never fade." From that day, Toby changed. He began helping the old man with his work. He learned to repair shoes, to greet people with respect, and to treat everyone with kindness. Slowly, people began to notice the change in him. Customers increased, and soon, Toby was running his own small shop. He worked hard, saved every coin, and years later, he built a modest business of his own. Not as Toby, the rich man's son, but as Toby, the humble young man, loved by all. Moral: life taught Toby that riches can be lost, but character never fades. Pride may build walls, but humility builds bridges. And so he learned that the true wealth is not in what you have, but in who you are.